Hi. So history wasn't meant to repeat itself. I mean, for the most part, the bad parts in history were not meant to repeat themselves. I mean, it's the same as family relationships. I mean, whatever historically has happened in your family environment, in your family settings, was whether it's mother, father, siblings, or their mother and fathers from like history and stuff. Whatever disappointments, heartache, or abuse or what have you, um, that history is zero supposed to repeat itself. I mean, you have the power to, and you have the control. Like, you're always control of your life. You have the control of breaking that cycle. I mean, it's no different than, and whatever it is, any kind of abuse, you are in control of breaking that cycle. So whatever it was done to you, or your parents and their parents and their parents, so on, so on and so forth, even your siblings, I mean, you have the control to break the cycle. So what I mean by that is also, like, if you get burnt by a stove, are you going to keep, putting your finger or your hand in there to burn it again? No. The answer is no. Whenever you hurt yourself, whatever it may be, like get pricked with a needle, get burnt by a stove, what have you, you just know not to touch it. It's the same it's the same concept. It's the same idea. It's the same pattern to break it. Stop and do something that's, that will zero hurt you and zero hurt other people. So that's the train of thought that I'm going with, and I hope that you can, I guess, understand what it is I'm saying. It's exactly like how I said before. It's like, recycling vomit. Somebody throws vomit, whatever pattern it is with, history, with your parents, your legacy, even their ancestors, so your parents, their parents, it's like whatever their ancestors threw up, they ate it up, and then they threw up the same vomit, for their life, and then they ended up throwing it up so that their future legacies would eat up the vomit and throw that up as well. So break the cycle. We're zero meant to repeat the negative parts in history, right? So break that cycle. Stop vomiting and stop recycling vomit. Makes sense, right? Whatever pattern of abuse that, your parents or their parents have endured in throughout history with their ancestors and so forth. I mean, we're not a make of any of that. So, a perfect example of breaking any cycle, I mean, you have these words that are thrown out all the time, and they have stigmas attached to it. And, we have the power, we're in control of being our own individual and breaking that cycle. Perfect examples of individuality, I mean, with the word alone, I mean, we zero have to sit there and overlook it, but we have the LGBTQ. They are a complete example of individuality. They make it known. They don't live with the rules of he, she. It's like they're, they, them. It's an LGBTQ with a question. So I mean, if an organization is so powerful in establishing their own individuality, whatever pattern or whatever abuse you've endured, what have you, I mean, there's examples of people that or whatever the history, you are in control of yourself. So are you. I mean, Elon Musk is a perfect example. He's his own individual with his own thoughts, and he's created a huge corporate empire. Pretty much, how is this world expected to grow if everyone's doing the same thing? Like, there's so many corporate, they don't live by certain definitions, certain, recycled circular roles in their life. They're not statistics, right? They break it. Break it meaning like they break the cycle of negativity. They're like, okay, let's be more productive. Let's do something that will make a good impact on the world and zero hurt people. So yeah, you zero have to be defined by your history, your parents' history, because remember, you're coming from a different era, generation, DNA, a circle of friends, circle of companies, places you work, things you see, the education you receive. That's including TV, YouTube, all social media stuff that you see. It's all different from your parents, your siblings, their parents, their siblings, like their friends, everything. Your ancestors, the same thing. So break that cycle. Break that cycle. One thing that bothers me the most, that I've been, as of recent, looking at and thinking a lot about is like, how we have the social media, those reaction videos and what have you. It's like a culture where, TikTok, YouTube, people are literally recycling stuff that they've watched, right? So the reaction, the wow, oh wow, right? Those words and what have you. And not one person has their own self-identity. Like they're just recycling other people's shit, right? Gobbling it up and then throwing it back up. Like there's no one set individual, individuality, like individual identity. I feel like everybody's becoming a copy of someone else, and it's no different from when I grew up, right? With the TV and stuff. Like all the women wanted to be a certain, was it Angela Jolie, Jennifer Aniston, Selma Hayek, like was it Madonna, Marilyn Monroe, right? Like all these beautiful women being a female, like that's what they wanted to replicate and be like a carbon copy of, right? Like not one person was their own set individual. And it seems to be the next generation. So, I mean, men also. So, I mean, it's non-gender specific. I just find that, I think a person can go a whole long way with being just themselves. I mean, these people in history that stand out, they were true to their own identity. They were zero replicating anyone else to stand out in a whole bunch of like lookalikes or doppelgangers, right? So that's the part that irks me. Like it just makes me cringy the most. So it's not settling well whatsoever at all with me. I mean, write down in the comments below what you think. I mean, are you seeing the same kind of like TikToks? Like in one TikTok video, they'll have the same reaction, the same dance move, the same kind of the expressions even. What was it? Bella Porch was one of them that started that little, I don't know. You know the best, lip over here, there, I don't know. Yeah, so let me know any YouTuber, social media person, influencer, celebrity that you find, whether when you were growing up or this time, this current present, that you've noticed with any social media that people have been recirculating or recycling that same jargon. It's like a copy culture right now. That's what I feel the most. I know cancel culture and that whole kind of, it can be good, it can be bad. Copy culture, it can be good, it can be bad. I just find that a lot of people, like even their laughter, it's not sincere or real. Like they're learning stuff, it's great. I mean, zero against that, and I zero hate that. I love it. Grow with all that stuff. It's just, there's gotta be their own self, like, why don't you be you and let me be me kind of, that song that was there, that whole like lyric, that whole zero lyric, but that whole kind of understanding, concept, idea with the one, with each individuality, like individual snowflake, I like to call them, with each individual person. And it should be zero forced onto them either. Like, I'm zero the person to sit there and say, and neither are you, to zero to say, oh, be this way, or like force it. It has to be their own. I mean, it's not authentic if it's not like from their own, like evolving, like their own, evolving. So it's like the Darwin's theory of evolution, right? So let them evolve on their own. It's just an observation. I mean, I zero like it. I do like the idea of like all inclusivity in these apps and stuff with the social media, TikTok, YouTube, what have you. Ageism is out the window, and what is it? Sexism is out the window. I mean, to a certain degree, yeah. Sexism is. I mean, they're using their sexiness to sell products, and that's no different than modeling, right? So that's great with me. I have zero anything against it. Neither should you. So, if you can accept profession, if you can accept professions for certain roles, then zero would be against other roles that are literally doing and pretty much doing the same thing, right? Yes, the answer is right. Yeah, so LGBTQ, they are their own individual identity. At zero, it's pretty much the principles are the same, to be your own individual no matter what, right? Theirs is specific to their liking. I'm saying to you everything that encompasses you as a person. I keep saying copycats right now, like they're a bunch of parrots, spewing off words, but they zero know the true application of stuff. So, I feel there was this experiment that was done amongst like monkeys and stuff. And in it was a really cool experiment, right? In it was like, there's a group of monkeys, and these scientists or whatever, what have you, they decided to put banana on top of the stairs and see how many monkeys went to go get the banana on top of the stairs. One monkey ran up, found the banana, ate it, and then the other monkeys realized, oh wow, there's bananas on top of the stairs. Then the scientists decided, okay, anytime any one of the monkeys go up the stairs, we're gonna just like squirt it with the spray gun. And then so basically the monkeys would go up the stairs, and then they started getting squirted by the water and the squirt gun, right, the water gun. And then little by little, some of the monkeys stopped going up the stairs, because then they started to know, okay, not that there's no water, but there's somebody will squirt us with a water gun if we would try to get the banana. So then eventually over time, no monkeys were going up the stairs. Then they decided to put a new monkey into the experiment. Anyhow, as it goes, a new monkey comes in, it goes up the stairs, it gets squirted. So no different, they stop going. Then they decided to change it up. A new monkey comes in, and the new monkey, when it goes up the stairs, it would get squirted, but the scientists changed it, right? So instead of squirting that one monkey that was getting the banana, all the monkeys that weren't even going up the stairs, they also got squirted. So eventually over time, the monkeys, they realized, oh, anytime a new monkey comes in, they'll go for the banana, we're all going to get squirted. So what they ended up doing, they started ganging up on the monkey, beating it up so it wouldn't go up the stairs to get the banana, and and they wouldn't get squirted. So at the end, finally what happened, the scientists stopped doing that as well. And the scientists noticed that the monkeys kept the habit going. So basically the habit was every time there was a new monkey that came in, they just beat it up for no reason, right? And eventually they started to take the older monkeys out of the equation, right? So only the newer monkeys stayed in the experiment. And what they found was the newer monkeys that had gotten beaten up before for no reason, they had no idea, they just continued that pattern of beating up new monkeys, new monkeys, new monkeys, not knowing the complete application of like where it all came about, you know, from getting squirted with the water gun from the scientists and from the banana. And eventually, like, the older monkeys were all gone. It was all the new monkeys that remained. And eventually the scientists even removed the bananas from the top of the stairs. So again, the beating up of the new monkeys continued, right, over time. I think it went for like a month or 2 weeks. Who knows what the timeline was, but yeah. Then the scientists decided, okay, let's put one banana, right? See if anyone goes up there. And, you know, at first they didn't realize about the banana, and one monkey actually walked up the stairs and then ate the banana, and nothing happened. Like, nothing happened. So, to any of the monkeys, right? So the experiment stopped. So basically the whole idea of it was that, you know, everyone's doing something, and it goes back to how this whole conversation started. You know, you can break the cycle, like ancestors, parents, their parents, siblings, you know, their parents, so on and so forth. I mean, a lot of shit is recycled and done. And, you know, the newer monkeys, that's, you know, it's including you as an individual, no matter what your faith, ethnicity, and what have you, you know, anywhere in the world, you know, in North America, what have you. We're in a multicultural world. So all the multicultural people, you know, it's all inclusivity, that, you know, we're recycling and circulating stuff that we have no idea what the original applications were for. And those applications are far gone. You know, just like the monkeys in the experiment, where they took out and removed all the old monkeys, right? So we have newer minds, fresh ideas. The world has changed, just like how the scientists kept changing the environment of like squirting the monkeys, not squirting the monkeys, what have you. So, I mean, we could be the newer generation, like the new monkey that went up the stairs and found that banana and ate it without anything happening to them. So that's pretty much what it comes down to. Break that cycle. Be your own individual. You know? Create that own good self-identity that zero hurts people. Right? And zero hurts yourself included. I had this, you would call it a mentor. I worked in a corporate company before, or a company, when I had goals to like continuously climb that corporate ladder. There was a really great gentleman. I mean, he came from a different city, of course. Like he was from like Miami, and he was here in Toronto, and he was a president of some firm or some company. I'm never going to disclose where and who with, only because I know I want to keep that that privacy, you know, so that kind of respect between individuals. So yeah, so we were having a conversation, and a lot of conversations about like life and, you know, the working world and what have you. And I guess, I don't know if he knew this or not, but something that he said really made an impression on me. And I'll share it with you. because I think it encompasses me as an individual and my YouTube channel and my train of thought, really, in a nutshell. So, I mean, instead of here, it's a whole grand, like a bigger picture. What he said was, you know, we were talking about travel and tourism, and he had brought up a really good point. And he said, you know, all these cities, right, what have you, like Miami, San Francisco, like Florida, you know, it could be anywhere, any part of the world, but those are the few that I could think of, like Cancun, Mexico, Vegas, right? So all these places, they have their own self-identity, right? So they have, as cities, right, they're recognized for certain like landmarks, certain features that make them like the location to travel to, like the location to travel to as a destination. You know, in Hawaii is one of them. So I mean, one of the many of them, right? So all these different places that people like automatically like remember, and they're like, okay, that's a travel destination, that's a have to location to travel to, you know, that's an exciting place to go. And a lot of the smaller cities that are, they're not even smaller, but yeah, the other cities, like, they're trying their hardest to compete, you know, get that bit of travel to their city, right? Or that equal amount of travel to their city. And what they're doing a lot of like brainstorming, and you know, they're trying so hard, and they're doing exactly the same thing that people are doing. It's like a copy culture, right? Oh, we should do this, we should implement this, we should construct this, you know, look like this city, look like that city, so that we can attract more travelers, you know, visitors, guests, what have you. So what he said was, instead of doing something like that, you know, where you have, again, like a pool full of like the same, right, person, city, what have you. So you're in a pool of copies. Be you, right? And it's no different even if you're going for a job interview. They used to say, like, if you want to stand out, you know, instead of coming in with maybe like a white resume that people literally put their resumes on like white paper, why don't you come in with like a pink, blue, or, you know, like a different color, you know, purple, who knows, you know, do something different. There was a, what was it, in the movie Legally Blonde, I think she used to spray perfume on hers. You know, be different, right? Set yourself apart from every, like all the copies, right? The replicas. So, I mean, that's where I'm just playing with something in my hand, so I'm just looking down anyhow. So, what was I saying more? What was I saying? Yeah. So basically, what he had said to me was, and again, he wasn't educating me. It was just like an observation that he had, and we were just like passing comments and just joking and conversing. And he said, you know, instead of being like everyone else, like, embrace the parts that make Toronto, you know, and create a name for it. So, like, I don't know, like urban city or urban culture. Now, he probably knows who he is now, because I literally quoted the words that he said to me. So yeah, so I mean, they set themselves apart, and that's the whole, you know, instead of being like everyone else, be you. I mean, that's what it all comes down to, be you. You know, there's so much beauty in just being you. And mind you, also, there's also etiquette in speaking. So have you know, deliver your words like with dignity. You know, if you're gonna sit there and throw out F this, F that, asshole, blah, 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 there's zero dignity in that. You know, there's a way to talk, you know? So, you know, be dignified in the way you speak, and that's it. There's zero more than that. You can express yourself with words, you know, without anger, without hate, without, you know, anything that is harsh. Because, I mean, I'm in front of the camera. There's nothing harsh about the camera doing anything to me, so why should I do anything to the camera? Or anyone else, because I zero know anyone who's actually watching this video. Or these videos in my YouTube channel, so. Anyhow, yep, yeah, so that's it. Anyhow, that's all something.
Subscribe.